vehicles within the Greater Banjul area, the director at the Ministry of Transport and the General Transport Union President have urged drivers and commuters to comply with the new route scheme. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro and the high-powered women's delegation have returned from the just-ended World Expo 2020 hosted in Dubai. Young lawyer Mohamed B. Sow has been awarded Best State Counsel of the Year by the Ministry of Justice. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. At a press conference on Friday, Gambia Participates GP updated the media on its pre-election environment assessment, focusing on the general pre-election environment, voter education activities, the IEC's preparatory activities, campaign activities, use and non-use of state resources, and critical incidents ahead of the April 9, 2022 National Assembly election. Omar P. Jallow was there, and this is his report.
On April 6, 2022, the Independent Electoral Commission IEC published the revised list of candidates for the 2022 National Assembly elections, following the withdrawals of 5 candidates, 4 of whom were independent candidates and 1 PDOIS candidate. As it stands, 12 of the Gambia's 18 political parties will be contesting Saturday's election, sponsoring 165 candidates, with 81 candidates contesting on the independent tickets for 53 constituencies in the April 9 parliamentary elections. Speaking to the press, Mar Nyang, the executive director of Gambia Participates, reveals that GP will deploy 415 trained and accredited citizen observers to observe and report on election day processes on polling stations, voter counting and announcement of results. This, he said, will comprise 65 mobile observers and 350 stationary observers across all the 53 constituencies in the Gambia.
Citizens of the Gambia should stay on the path of consolidating the country's nascent democracy by actively participating in the process. Citizens must not sell their votes to any candidate or party. The National Assembly elections are equally very important, and thus citizens should go out in numbers and vote for their candidate of choice. Gambia Party is fully prepared to observe the elections. On election day, we will provide independent and timely, precise and credible information on the election process. Gambia Participates and Partners therefore urges all registered voters to go out and vote and be confident their votes will count.
Nyang further reveals that GP deployed a robust and comprehensive pre-election observation exercise in all 53 constituencies from March 1st to April 7, 2022, adding that they observed that political parties have not done much to sponsor female candidates. Political party campaigns were largely peaceful. Political party rallies dominated the campaign period. The IEC intensified election preparations and engagement with stakeholders. They predicted a likely low voter turnout in the election and observed an abuse of state resources such as vehicles for political campaigns. As a result, Gambia Participates has come up with these recommendations.
As noted during the 2021 presidential election, some polling stations were not conducive for persons with disability. We call on the IEC to ensure an inclusive process by placing polling stations in locations that are easily accessible by persons with disability. The IEC polling officers and supervisory polling officers should conduct the elections in an impartial and objective manner. The IEC should ensure election results are consistent and accurate with greater transparency of the votes collation and tabulation process. The IEC should increase communications with the public after polling stations have closed to assure the public that the electoral process is being respected according to the laws. IEC should investigate the dropping of candidates and establish if it has any connection to undue influence and corrupt practices.
Gambians go to the polls on Saturday, April 9, 2022. to elect their National Assembly representative for the next 5 years. On election day, GP will open its election data center to the media and the public from 7 a.m. until the elections are concluded at the polling stations and results are declared at the collation centers, providing updates on the election on different intervals. The Independent Electoral Commission has stressed that only its published results are to be regarded as official. Reporting for KTV News, I am Omar P. Jallow.
Following government's announcement of a new licensing traffic scheme for commercial vehicles within the Greater Banjul area, the director at the Ministry of Transport and the General Transport Union President have urged drivers and commuters to comply with the new route scheme to help address challenges in the sector. Ansumana Esonyasi reports.
The institution of the new route scheme comes in the wake of recent threats by drivers to protest in demanding an increase in national transport fares. Having had several engagements with stakeholders, the government and the General Transport Union are set to roll out a scheme they believe will help address challenges in the transport sector. Under the new scheme, commercial vehicles plying routes within the Greater Banjul area will now be issued licenses for specific destinations or routes. Explaining the importance and the need to have such a scheme, Esa Drame, Director of Transport at the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, and Omar Sise, President of the General Transport Union, said the new scheme was designed to improve the transport sector.
It came as a result of the complaint from the commuters that they have been paying double or triple fares for one route. So this has been a policy of the ministry. It has been in the national transport policy, the first national transport policy, but unfortunately it has not been implemented.
We revisit their concern and discuss and agree, because we are all Gambians. We all see what is happening as of now. So we discuss, our ministry brings this idea to bring the route lancing in. So but we discuss making piloting system and making like learning process, so that we can see what is going to be lapses, and so that you can make some adjustment. Because as a union, as a driver, as a professional, I've been seeing this is happening in some countries in West Africa here. And at the same time, I'm part of many international organizations. I know the way they are operated, and I see the results end of the day.
Though a pilot project for now, this new route scheme will be the first of its kind in the Gambia's transport sector. Given the challenges in the enforcement of policies, they urge both commuters and drivers to comply to help government and stakeholders in the transport sector realize the purpose for creating such a scheme.
When we were engaging the transport union for the increment of the transport fares, we categorically made it clear to them that the interests of the commuters have to be also respected, because we cannot increase the fares whilst the drivers continue charging the commuters double or triple fares. So this scheme will not allow the drivers to do it, because if you register for a particular route, you should take the passengers to that particular destination. For example, if you register for Westfield Brikama, you cannot say that you are stopping at Tabo Koto and then Lamen or Yundum.
The assault drivers, that we are here for them. We are representing them. No matter what, we cannot bring something who is going to happen their daily affairs. So we are here for them. This is a learning process. It's a piloting. If we see some lapses, some challenges, we discuss with the government, because it's a committee. We are monitoring. So we discuss and see how to improve that sector. But it's a system who's supposed to protect all of us.
According to the new route scheme, taxi drivers plying routes within the Greater Banjul area will now charge $10, while transport fares from Sarakunda to Brikama will be $23, and Westfield Banjul $12. Meanwhile, officials at the Ministry of Transport and the General Transport Union revealed that the new increment is also owing to the increase in fuel prices. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro has returned from the just-ended World Expo 2020 hosted in Dubai, where she led a high-powered women delegation. As Aliou Cissé reports, the Gambia was among the over 170 countries that participated in the 6-month expo.
The Dubai Expo, hosted at the Dubai Exhibition Center, attracted participants from over 170 countries under the theme Connecting Minds, Creating the Future. An estimated 24 million plus people made visits during the 6 months of the expo, which closed on 31st March 2022. And among those is the Gambia's First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro, who toured the GCCI Women Entrepreneurs Stand and that of their Senegalese counterparts. The Dubai Expo 2022 provided an opportunity for the Gambia to showcase Gambia-made products and successfully sell the country's image to the world. Sarata Konate, Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, together with Aja Adulesi, a GCTI board member, and Ajande Awakan, President of Senegalo-Gambia Women Federation, all thanked the First Lady for accepting the invitation while stressing the importance of the Dubai Expo in women's empowerment as championed by GCCI. They see attending the Expo as a learning opportunity.
There's so many initiatives centered around women. There's so many programs on women, there's so many opportunities that we still need to tap and explore as women. So we felt as women in business and leaders in business, coming to this expo would have been an amazing opportunity to see what other business women are doing in the world, to also learn from them, to share best experiences with them, and to understand better how we can move forward and create great opportunities for all.
When a woman thrives, humanity thrives. So it's a very, very important slogan. It has stuck in our heads. So when I dig a expo, you your left out. And I think we should not be left out in anything in the whole world. So definitely, so this is the item decided to left for women-led delegation is because they are left out. Development of our school.
I think I would seize the opportunity to thank the DCCI for leading this delegation, especially the board of directors and others, for giving us women leaders and women the opportunity to come and visit the expo, to come and learn from each other, share our ideas. Also use the opportunity to thank the First Lady for accepting the invitation to come here. I know within her busy schedule, she is able to fly over from USA to here just to make sure that her presence is appreciated. We really appreciate it.
Originally scheduled for 28th October 2020 to 10th April 2021, the expo was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite being postponed, organizers kept the name Expo 2020 for marketing and branding purposes. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Marble is the Gambia's first ever election app designed to ease access to election information. The app also provides information on all past certified presidential, parliamentary, local government elections and by-election. Marble Gambia has a user-friendly interface, and thus its users will not experience any difficulties in navigating through the features of the application. Will also be able to interact with the source map to know which candidate is winning in every constituency. Luckily, Marble Gambia allows its users to receive live certified election results on election day. Download Marble Gambia today on App Store and Play Store and receive election results at your fingertip. This is brought to you by Gambia Participates and with support from National Endowment for Democracy and International Republican Institute.
Welcome back. Young lawyer Mohamed B. Sow has been awarded Best State Counsel of the Year by the Ministry of Justice. QTV's Jenna Basonko sat down with Mr. Sow to learn about his journey.
Born and brought up in Janjanbureh, Mohamed B. Sow had to move to the Greater Banjul area to get quality education at Nusrat High School and then on to the University of the Gambia Faculty of Law. Sow decided to venture into law, considering that the ratio of lawyers per head of population in the Gambia was low at the time he enrolled at the University of the Gambia Faculty of Law in 2010. Sow started his law career at the private chambers, but later moved to the Ministry of Justice to become a state counsel to ensure Gambians have greater access to justice. State counsels act on behalf of the state and state institutions in lawsuits and transactions for and against the state. This year, the Ministry of Justice has awarded Mohamed B. Sow the Best State Counsel.
I feel proud on the one hand, but again, it motivates me to really work hard. It means that my efforts have been recognized by my seniors and also by the office. So it means it is also a challenge for me to continue doing the good work continue working hard and be determined. And I think that's it. Yeah.
As the field of law is a great way for lawyers to use their qualification to assist in the service of their country through upholding the law, Mohamed Bisso has gone beyond appearing in courts. He gets into the classroom too. So mentors young lawyers as he has passion for teaching.
Sense of direction, sense of hard work, sense of determination, and doing your best for country. So I see it as an obligation to also share the little knowledge that I have in the law with young ones. So I spend a lot of my time lecturing. I lecture at the university, although not as a full-time lecturer, but I am invited most of the time as a guest lecturer. And sometimes I also do go to the law school and help with criminal procedure. And I also organize tutorials for both students at the university and also at the Gambia Law School. So for me, it's just a sense of obligation that I owe to other young people.
To further prove that Mohamed Bisso is a mentor to young lawyers, we engaged one of his mentees to take us through their relationship. Here is Hadi Drame.
At law school as well, he was also dealing with the African Center to mentor law students, and I was particularly impressed with his capacities in terms of trying to guide young people, because that is what he does even at the Ministry of Justice, where I'm serving as a people. Bisso is one person who's very inspirational. To be honest, I'm directly under him as a people counsel, where I go with him to court, and I also deal with processes in terms of filing for him, and I think he's actually a role model.
Mohamed Bisso calls on Gambian lawyers to take ownership of the Gambia Faculty of Law at the University of the Gambia, saying that to produce better lawyers, the experience should be willing to give back. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
Brikama Area Council has donated 650 bags of rice to the National Disaster Management Agency for delivery to internally displaced persons in Fonyi, victims of the Casamas conflict, which has impacted some Gambian border villages. Our reporter Momodu Gajaga attended the handing over ceremony in Buyam, and here are reports.
The relief food aid is to alleviate the immediate suffering of the people affected by the escalating conflict in the troubled Casamas region in Senegal, which is close to Gambia's Fonyi territory. The relief effort is expected to reach at least 10,000 people said to be internally displaced, including those who fled as refugees from their villages in Casamas to Fonyi. The chairman of the Brikama Area Council says his institution took this gesture to alleviate the suffering of IDPs.
We find it necessary that we cannot sit and watch our people, our family members suffering. But indeed, we also need to put our hands, as advised by the National Security and the President of the Republic of the Gambia. When we got this news, and then I call upon the Council to make sure that we also see to it and then put something to our neighbors. Gambia and Senegal are the same. We are of the same family, even if we are not related. But this is something that we need to do, and it is our obligation.
The Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Agency, NDMA, Sanat Dahaba, upon receiving the donated rice, thanked the Brikama Area Council for the humanitarian relief, saying their intervention was timely.
I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the receipt of 650 bags of rice, 25 kilo, on behalf of Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, who is the chairperson of the National Disaster Governing Council. This is a massive support. No support is small, but what the intention, that's what matters. And we want to thank the Area Council in no small measure for fulfilling one of the important aspects, which is the social corporate responsibility of the Council.
Sane, Governor of the West Coast region, says peace is precious and should always be guarded. He also called for the cessation of hostilities between the Senegalese forces and the MFDC separatists in Casamas to ensure lasting peace in the region.
Peace is priceless. Peace has no price. If you want to weigh peace and other kinds of things, you may make some mistakes. Where there is no peace, there will be no development. Where there is no peace, there is no education. Where there is no peace, there is no health. All these things are combined together. When we have peace in the community, especially in the country. Let's cherish peace. Let's cherish development. Let's come together and work as one citizens, as countrymen.
3 weeks ago, the Senegalese military launched an operation against bases of the MFDC separatist forces in Casamance. This donation will be welcomed by the at least 10,000 people known to have fled the area, seeking refuge in Buyam and other parts of Fonyi. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
In the Gambia, women generally contribute the most in the running of households, including in preparing food, especially for iftar and suhoor during Ramadan. Their work can also involve doing other jobs outside the home to earn a living. Our regional reporter Bakari Balde looks at the extra work women do in Ramadan.
Fasting in the month of Ramadan is obligatory for all Muslim men and women. Women, be it as a wife, a sister or a daughter, can play very important roles during the holy month of Ramadan, including in the Gambia. They fast and engage in other activities at home and outside the house. Mariama Sise and Kalu Kamara are farmers. Despite fasting while there is scorching sunlight, they spend part of the day working at the women's vegetable garden.
We work at home. We work in the gardens to feed our families. At home, we cook, we do cleaning, and we fetch water and wash clothes. That is why we are here. It is Ramadan, but we are still here. I am urging the women, especially the young ones, to be patient. If you have patience, the heat in the kitchen when cooking will be a reward for you in Jannah. Fasting and going hungry without food and water while working to feed your family will also be a reward for you in Jannah. So Allah has a lot in store for us.
Binta Sisi and Awatar are housewives. They say doing household chores while fasting is challenging but full of blessings and rewards.
Women face many challenges, going to the market, preparing iftar and the children to care for. All these are challenges, but we should have patience because that is part of marriage. Ramadan is a month of blessings, so I advise all women to go shopping and cook good meals for their families in this Ramadan. You are fasting and cooking. Imagine the smoke in the kitchen and the heat from the fire. But Ramadan is only 1 month, so let's look for Allah's blessing.
Yusfa A. Toure, a Quranic teacher at Soma Upper and Senior Secondary School, underscores the benefit of Ramadan for women.
The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "If a woman prays her 5 prayers, fasts her month of Ramadan, guards her chastity, and obeys her husband, she will enter paradise from any gate she wishes." So, women are very lucky indeed. They should try very hard in Ramadan.
Ramadan is a particularly taxing time for women, not only for the time-consuming labor women have to put in producing meals on an empty stomach and deciding what to cook each day. They sometimes have to do so while tending to children who are too young to fast or holding a full-time job or both. Reporting for QTV News, I am Bakari Balde.
Before we end, here is a recap of the main news headlines. At a press conference on Friday, Gambia Participates updated the media on its pre-election assessment, focusing on the general pre-election environment and other important areas. Following government's announcement of a new licensing traffic scheme for commercial vehicles within the Greater Banjul area, the director at the Ministry of Transport and the General Transport Union President have urged drivers and commuters to comply with the new route scheme. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro and a high-powered women's delegation have returned from the just-ended World Expo 2020 hosted in Dubai. Young lawyer Mohamed B. Sow has been awarded Best State Counsel of the Year by the Ministry of Justice. We would like to take this opportunity to remind all our viewers that Saturday, 9th April is National Election Day and has been declared a public holiday. We wish all Gambians a peaceful election day. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.